Authorities have started pruning weak and overgrown branches along the Atomic-Kwabenya road, with several mahogany and other fragile trees marked for removal. The exercise follows growing concerns over the condition of some of the trees, which have become weak and pose a danger to motorists. Some of the overgrown branches have become entangled with power lines, further heightening safety risk. However, the decision to remove some of them has drawn sharp criticisms from environmental groups such as Atomic-Kwabenya, who has strongly condemned the move, describing it as environmental sabotage and shameful. They say the felling of trees along the Atomic-Hacho stretch must cease immediately, with a clear enforceable plan for replanting provided. Maxwell Akbawa has more.
The usual traffic here at the Atomic First Gate and the Kwabenya Police Station stretch is conspicuously missing. What is, however, striking here is the many mahogany and other trees that have formed a canopy on the stretch.
Some of the mahogany trees lining this road are over 60 years old. But this isn't the first time their survival has been under threat. Now they are at risk again. I've met Reverend Joseph Adika. He loves trees and describes himself as an environmentalist.
We need to be educated about the value of trees. And if that education is not there, people will disregard the essence of trees, you understand. In Ghana today, I don't think that a lot of people value trees.
Executive Secretary for the Voluntary Work Camps Association of Ghana, Zachariah Mwinson, says cutting down the trees undermines Ghana's efforts in fighting climate change.
This is causing a threat to the community, especially with regards to the agenda on climate change. So cutting down the trees is not an alternative.
At the office of an environmental advocacy group, Atomic-Kwabenya, Executive Director Darrell Bosu called the plant felling an environmental sabotage and shameful.
There are trees by the roadside, they look beautiful, they provide a significant benefit, they clean the air, they cool the environment. Once you drive through that area, you can be driving in from the hot sun. Once you get under those trees, you can feel the difference in the coolness of the air. So we are really happy that those trees are there. We have assessed the stretch of that particular area where the trees are. And what we have noticed is that there are no drainages along that particular stretch of road. So when it rains, water collects under the root system, making the trees unstable, and that's why every little wind comes and you see a tree falling.
Let's plant 5 million trees today.
In 2022, the previous government allocated 6 million cedis to the Green Ghana Tree Planting Initiative. In 2023, that figure dropped to 2.5 million. That is a little over $500,000 for the 2 years of tree planting. Environmentalists say cutting mature trees now defeats the very purpose of such programs. But the Forestry Commission says it is not a blanket approval to cut trees. Manager, Corporate Affairs and Media Relations of the Forestry Commission says the Ghana Atomic Energy Commission has been instructed to replace any trees they remove.
They were given the permission to remove 8 mahogany trees, 6 leucaena trees, and prune 43 mahogany trees. For some of the trees, the ones that are going to be removed, you can see that they are literally dead. Even though they are standing there, it is dead. So it needs to be removed. We made it explicitly clear that they have to replace all the trees that they are removing.
You're watching NewsDeck. Stay with me. When we return, I shall tell you about how ECG maintenance is going to be happening in the Ashanti West unit, about some preventive maintenance. You want to stay with me?